Sakamoto, I heard a rumor. The story goes, you've been looking for those serial killers.
Who are you? A different species than assassins or mafia. And we're all deranged killers.
Tell me where Taro Sakamoto is.
I need to ask them for information about Slur. If the Order kills them all, I can't do that.
Anyone who causes trouble on our turf is dead.
There's a pack of deranged serial killers on the loose. Right now, you and me are nothing but a burden to Mr. Sakamoto.
The mafia girl, Lu Xiaotong, C rank. The former assassin, Shin the Clairvoyant, D rank.
Blues rank higher than me? So annoying!
I understand, Taro. You have a daughter.
You're terrified, aren't you?
Can't let those maniacs run loose.
The more of a struggle you give me, the more interesting your inevitable end will be.
Let that be a lesson to you. It doesn't matter how you die.
It's about how you live. No, Mr. Sakamoto, don't do this!
Relax, you baby. It's just a little acupuncture.
And welcome back to another Big Eyes edition of The Lookout. And as always, this is LJ, and I am joined by my amazing host, AD. How you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm good, man. Chilling. I know we ain't been talking about a little baseball, but the Braves are trying to give me hope. I'm not going for it. The season's over with. But
oh yeah, nah, bro. Listen, Yankees been playing with me, and I ain't really with it. I ain't really
I'm
with it.
Seeing it. I'm like, bro, what the hell is happening, bro? Post All-Star break, this shit been crazy.
Dog, listen, I ain't with the bullshit. I ain't with the shenanigans. No, leave me alone. I don't know. Like at this point, At this point, I don't know what I want to feel because I feel that if we miss the playoffs, nothing's going to change. If we make the playoffs, that just makes our situation slightly worse because Aaron Boone is still going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, do I want us to miss the playoffs for potentially Aaron Boone to get fired? Or do we make the playoffs and I know that his job is now secure for like the next 2 years?
I mean, y'all are still up there. Y'all will make it. At the very least, y'all should have a wild card.
I feel we're gonna get a wild card spot.
Yeah.
But speaking of New York, we are joined here by the one man that thinks that I am his arch nemesis, but I'm not. I just like to poke fun with him a little bit. And he has the worst manga ratings system ever. But I love him so much. And of course, he has to be here today to talk about the special thing that we're talking about. We got my main man, Skip. How you doing today, brother?
I'm good. You're not my nemesis no more. It's between Tim and I have to scroll through it. It's Tim and someone else. You kind of retired from being on my ass. But I think it's Tim and Lou. I think it's Tim and Lou. Be like, yo, Skip, shut the fuck up. Be like, but come on. See the vision.
I can't see the vision. I've just given up trying to stop the vision.
That's fine. You're about to get some crazy bad takes anyway, so it's okay.
I know. It's okay. It's all right. But how you doing today, bro?
Nah, we good, bro. We good. We inside. I just dodged that thunderstorm like the fucking Matrix. It came through like fucking quick as hell. It looked like an apocalyptic movie. I'm looking at it coming through, and it's like, damn, I got to get on the train immediately, bro. I see the dark clouds coming real fast, but we Gucci right now.
Nice. Well, I feel that our weather has been real similar because we've been having crazy storms too here.
The weather machine, bro. The weather machine.
No, listen, I didn't believe in it for a long time, but I might believe in it. I don't know. The weather machine might. Is that a conspiracy theory? What's a conspiracy theory that you really like 10 toes down? Be like, nah, this is a real thing.
I'm 10 toes down on the weather machine, and I think AD is going to say something. Here's one reason why. Once we reduce the spending for everyone's like meteorologist, so every time I check the temperature or like what am I supposed to experience? I didn't know it was raining today. That's like I was like, why does it feel icky today? It was like mad hot, and then it's like, oh, someone said like, yo, it's supposed to rain. I was like, I thought we had a beautiful day all day. It's like, nah, they just changed the weather, and I was like, it's them. They be just pushing buttons because like where LJ is, where I am, where AD, we're in three different time zones and cities, bro. So it's like something's not adding up when our weather is close to the same. So something's wrong to
No,
me. And I
absolutely.
sound crazy saying this out loud, like the goofy glasses, but I'm 10 toes down like weather machine.
Nah, I'm right
AD,
behind you on
what,
the weather machine, like straight up. There's no reason. So here's the thing, bro. If you have lived in Atlanta for an extended period of time, you will know that you will get all 4 seasons within a week. Like there's no reason for that shit to go from sleeting to sunny to rain to now you're on tornado watch, flood warnings. There's no reason for that to be like Monday through Saturday, dog. Is it's happened consistently. There are times where I remember in high school trying to get on the bus and it's just pouring down raining. You get to the school, sunny, sunshine. What are we doing here, bro? This is all within a 30-minute time span, dog. Weather machine got to be the top one.
I'm full 10 toes down in secret society. There's a secret society running the world.
Oh, like the Illuminati, you know.
I am full 10 toes in that. I feel that there is a legit secret society of elites that is controlling the world and the world's events and everything that's going on. It's not a big group. It's probably like 15 men. They probably just added their first woman because, you know, DEI and everything like that. Yeah. Nah, I really believe that there is that in the secret society. There's some cult. I don't think it's the Illuminati. I think they just kind of like let that name float around. They probably call themselves something different.
What would you think? Like who started this? Like who is the head honcho?
Emu.
That's a
That
good
too
one.
quick.
That's a good one.
It was Onyx, nigga.
I forget that he was a fictional character, Onyx. Something just like Gaia. Something like all the way from the beginning of time.
Who was probably the yeah? This got you got to go deep. It probably starts Julius Caesar and them.
Mm-hmm. You think it would be like the Genghis Khan?
Yeah,
Maybe.
you know, like it's something there. It's Alexander. Like it has deep roots. But I think once they hit America, that's when shit started getting freaky.
Yeah. America tried to like colonize.
Yeah,
everything,
once the Pilgrims really got 10 toes, they started it was just it got freaky after America started getting established.
What if that was the reason for the Civil War? Like the
I'm telling you, bro. Like I really think that they're just like, hey man, listen, we don't want to free the slaves, but we know we gotta expand. We gotta expand a bit. They knew they needed the black people to get a little active.
And the Klan is a subset of that.
Bro, listen, man.
It's like
hey,
Django and Chain, they have the
man. Don't listen, bro. Listen, bro. Listen. All of it. I think it's all connected. It's all real. Listen, man. I think it's just some real weird stuff. I think it's just a group of guys that are just like, you know what, we need these things to happen because they'll help push the agenda. They know how much money war and all that other stuff brings in. They know the world's problems and the tensions. They're just like, how can we tip the scales a little bit?
Oh man.
So yeah,
this is low key. This low key ties into Sakamoto Days.
A little bit. It does, which is the manga that we are talking about today. Sakamoto Days. A manga that I feel very strongly about. And I didn't think I felt as strong about it until I reread it. And I was just like, damn, I have real like core feelings for this manga. Before we go into that, we got a little bit of news. I think the biggest news, the final My Hero Academia season.
Yeah, man.
Was it October? September?
October 4th. It will be premiering. New trailer dropped. final season. Obviously, if you read it, you know what's gonna happen. How did y'all watch last season?
Absolutely.
I didn't. I
You
was gonna
didn't?
wait. I was gonna wait for this season to come out to binge it. Like
I
as soon
feel
as
you're
it
missing.
starts, so I could just like
You
go
know what?
into it.
You know what? I'll say this about last season: it's good on a standalone tip. Like I know
Okay.
that the final season, you know, and especially knowing that final arc and how it goes, I know it will seem like, oh, you want to watch everything like together to watch it flow, but that actual
Mhm.
like last season, like on a standalone, it was really good. I think another snub of anime of the year,
Which is funny
counting.
to hear you say that because remember that 1 year? I think it was like one full year of just like straight My Hero. It was like
Oh,
straight My
bro,
Hero,
it was
straight Demon
sickening.
Slayer.
No, it was sickening that year.
He just hated Stinky Deku, and as someone that had to deal with LJ's onslaught of because me and Mills defending MHA, I was like, come on, LJ, you got to see the vision chapter by chapter, and LJ's like, no, tell this man to take a bath. I was like, all right.
It wasn't even that. Obviously, actually, you know what's funny? I think Johnny Barnes was the one that started to take a bath. So shout out to JB because I think he was the one that started to take the bath in the Discord, and it just spiraled from there. But I could be wrong. But shout out to JB. I will say this: during that time when MHA was on a run, I feel that was when it was at its weakest. It was doing the Deku's going rogue and Deku. I just felt that it didn't hit how they wanted it to hit. And I think that what he was trying to do with that character in that moment where it's kind of like, all right, you know, it's is so deviant from what he actually was, you know, personality wise and all these things, like him trying to go off alone and him trying to do all these, you know, it felt so far fetched. It felt so far fetched to the fact of I don't think that is what his actual reaction would be to that moment.
I don't know, because in the moment we were all like, "Bruh, finally this nigga is going crazy. Like he might be turning coat. You feel me? Like his secret is getting out there about who he is. His powers are starting to get kind of like stronger. He might be a little bit unruly. Can't wait to see what happens. It's still within the first year of them going to school. Like they ain't even reached like April yet. You know what I'm saying? And then nothing really came of it in that perspective. You know, and we got the stuff with Lady Nagan, everything that happens after that, leading up to the final battle, the traitor and everything. I think all of that was just it was good to make up for it, but in the moment, I think we were just like, yeah, no, this kind of heat, and then nothing really came from it, and so it just kind of fell flat, at least in that moment. But then it rose up again. I think the ending brought it all together.
Yeah, nah, I wasn't feeling it. I'm just gonna be real. But last last season was, I mean, the last season was really good. And I got more thoughts about MHA in that last arc too as we get along. But no, final season trailer looks great. We're all super excited for it. I know that a movie is probably coming around the corner too.
Oh yeah.
Another bit of news that I found pretty cool: Webtoon partnering up with Disney. They're gonna be doing some vertical scroll formats of Marvel characters, Star Wars, more things. I think this is really big for Webtoon. I think this is really big for anime. Really good for manhwa. You know, I know that obviously Disney has been getting its foot in the anime game for a minute. Marvel, you know, they've done some stuff with Shonen Jump. But it's nice to see them, you know, attempting to bring their, you know, we see a lot of things, you know, try to come to the West. It's cool to see them attempting to try to cross over also with some of their characters. I'm excited to see what they end up doing with it. Do you think that we're going to be getting a Marvel anime soon, like either something original, something with different characters, maybe anime style Star Wars? Do y'all see something like that coming? And
funny
what
thing
you and
is,
what y'all like to see is
I was about to say the funny thing is we do have several at least like manga published by Marvel with Viz. We got Deadpool Samurai. I think there's a Spider-Man one. They got two off top that they could work on. I would definitely like to see them.
how about you, Skip?
I'm trying to think because we're saying webtoons, right?
Yes.
Because on webtoons, to me, there's like a hidden gem. It's like the Batman Family Adventures. I don't read comics, but they got like a little manga type flair to it where Bruce has access to every Robin he's ever had. So it's like the Robins and the Batgirls, and it's like this extensive family where they be literally having to be 10, 15, 20 deep to be going against things. And if they made something like an animation about that, I'd watch it. And if you guys never heard of it, it kind of gives, I don't want to say Spy X Family where it's like a slice of life, but it's literally slice of life where you have like Nightwing probably being his mid-20s, and then you have Red Hood, and you have Red Robin, then you have Robin, the Damian Wayne, then you have the Signal, is like a black hero, then you have Batwing, and you have all of these people, mixed race, all these other people, like showing up, like to help out Bruce on a regular basis in Gotham. So it makes more sense than just two people like Batman and Robin, like holding down a city, because you can't hold down a city like New York with 5-6 boroughs with two people. So when they have like major attacks in certain arcs, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's like, yo, they literally needed to call extra help from outside to make it 25, 30 people. So if they made like an anime about that, I'm telling you, people like don't hear me talk about this enough on the timeline, but it's cooking with gas. Like that thing be having me feel emotional on some anime shit, and I'm just reading it in color in the Webtoon app.
You know what that reminds me of? You remember them like old Power Rangers crossovers where they have like 12 different Red Rangers and shit? It was something like that.
It pretty much is like that, minus everyone being the same color.
Nah, I'll fuck with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's cool to see Disney kind of doing that. Things are kind of growing and being bigger. I'm excited for more stuff. I think Star Wars would be amazing as an anime. So we'll see what happens there. Last bit of news: Jujutsu Kaisen #4 on the NYT August bestsellers list.
Oh shit.
So 26, the volume 26, #4. JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, #12. Steel Ball Run, Jujutsu Kaisen volume 25, #14, and One Piece volume 109, #15.
Hey.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm trying to think.
You getting to see everything branch out, bro. Like, you know, we've come a long way.
The Don was #10 and My Hero was #7 last month, so it's actually pretty cool to see them, ranking so high. I mean, obviously manga is growing and growing, so popular and more popular now. Anime is probably as popular as it's ever been, and will continue to grow. So it's cool to see those type of things happening, and the success that's happening.
Really quick before we dive into the other things, I'm glad that everything is growing, but we had the conversation about, things that may or may not be doing well in Shonen Jump. I got to ask you, Skip, what are you reading right now?
Is that to Elder or me right now?
No, you.
What are you reading?
What are you reading?
Because I be reading bullshit. But
oh yeah, we know about the star ratings.
Look, I haven't done them in a while. I've been busy.
You haven't, and I'm so proud of you. And I'm actually really proud that you don't bring the star ratings to the TL.
No, I gave up on that because I feel like the timeline don't need that bullshit. I just keep it to y'all because it's our inside joke of like, how bad can my star ratings be? Because I used to be committed, and people be like, "Damn, I need to read this stuff." Everyone that was outside of the Lookout was like, "Yo, I got to read this." Everyone in Lookout was like, "Yo, do not listen to this madman. He is a cancer."
Sometimes you might be cooking. Sometimes you be cooking, bro.
AD is too understanding. I say this, AD is the most understanding human being you would ever meet. I'm like, no, hell no. I gotta draw a line in the sand somewhere. We gotta hold boundaries. I be like, Skip, you don't gave Witch Watch 5 stars like 3 weeks in a row. Like, what are we doing here?
Hey, wait, man, Witch Watch be cooking. What are you talking about?
Listen, all I'm saying is, listen, it was a hyperbole, but I'm saying that's the type of stuff you do.
Okay. All right. Before I say what I'm reading real quick, I'm going to say like a quick 90 seconds of my star system. Because again, I always think it's not just reading the chapter by itself when it comes out. It's like, when we read something and you read it in flow, it's a different take on the story than you read a chapter by itself. It's like when we get a single from someone's album. Like I think when we got, I don't know, Black Parade from that Beyonce album, everyone's like, I don't get it. And then you hear it within the flow of the album. And it's like, it makes more sense because you're missing context of the transitions. So for me, it's like, as I'm remembering previous chapters, it's like, all right, this chapter in comparison to the last 5 chapters, it didn't really build anything or like this didn't happen. But if it's consistent with the flow, it's like, I can tell when I'm reading these 5 chapters, it's going to be like that kind of like combo that you feel like you get into in Tekken, Street Fighter, and freaking Marvel vs. Capcom, and you hitting like 50, 30 moves. Like, it's like, yo, this is right. This is amazing. Now, does everyone agree with me? No, I'm a little crazy. I'm gonna refine the method, but it makes sense to me because when I be rereading stuff, it's like I was spitting. Maybe the people hated me, but I see what they cheer for. You know what I'm saying? I see what y'all cheer for. I really right now I'm only kind of like been reading a lot of Shonen Jump, and like whenever Blue Lock and Haiju no Ippo comes out, like I basically been kind of lazy in finding new content to like read. I haven't been like I've been so busy with work that if it's not on a Shonen Jump app, I'm not reading anything outside of that. I basically read everything that comes out to, or at least 75%. I still have to catch up on other things. Like I've never read Witch Watch or what Kill Blue. I'm looking at these things right now, or Nice Prison. But I'm gonna make the time after I finish this anime One Piece binge to like read everything in Shonen Jump. But I'm just pretty much a Shonen Jump like nerd right now.
I've done the same thing. Like obviously, I always try to find the other stuff that probably isn't as available. And also too, Shonen Jump just has the best app to read on. That and Shonen, Shonen Plus, but yeah, no, I'm the same way right now. I'm Shonen jumped out.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel the same way. And it's sad but I think that's just like not really too much of anything in there that's grabbing your attention right now, especially for me. I would try to read everything. I haven't been feeling anything in Shonen Jump recently. None of the new stuff for real. Yeah.
Can we talk about that like real quick? Like I'm kind of like nervous that things like Kaiju number 8's gone, and other things are going. Like there's things that are going to keep it going, like Blue Box, which I enjoy. There's a few new things that made me go, you're not going to be the next big 3 or next big 5, but for what you are here for, it's cool, but not good enough. Like I'm kind of like worried. Like most of these things that when they come out as an anime, to me, aren't certified slappers. You know what I'm saying?
I think the issue is that everything is kind of graded on the same scale. And it has become, I think everything now is kind of getting graded on the scale of, is it the next Jujutsu Kaisen, or is it the next My Hero, or is it the next this? Because we're talking about Sakamoto Days today. We might as well jump into it, because here's my hot take. After this reread, Sakamoto Days may be the best running manga they've had outside of that My Hero last arc. It was, I think it was better than Jujutsu Kaisen. I think it was better than Kaiju number 8. I think it was better than a lot of things. I think Akane Banashi has a slight argument there too. But Sakamoto Days through and through is consistent. It tells a good story. You have plenty of great characters to choose from. I think it's cool as hell. And like I think it hits all the marks of probably what you want from a good shonen manga. And for some odd reason though, I don't feel that it connects like what Skip is saying. And I think there's a lot of really good ones, because Shonen Jump has some good stuff. I just don't think it's connecting. There's something missing with it. I don't know if it's the anime, because like even the anime was really good, I think anime was also another snub that probably should have been more kind of revered and looked at in terms of one of the better ones of the year. But I don't know what the missing piece is though. And I agree with Skip, is like Shonen Jump's in this weird like middle ground where you got good stuff, but nothing, like you said, nothing is like going above and beyond. Like everyone is still kind of clamoring for the things that are already finished. I think One Piece, the anime completely overlooks One Piece, the manga. So no one really, like, One Piece, the manga is still selling. Obviously, we just said before, it was on the New York Times, one of the best sellers of the year or the month. But I think that the anime right now completely overlooks that. And I mean, unless you were part of the actual fandom, but most casual fans, they're like, listen, bro, I've already watched 1,000+ episodes. I'm not reading 1,000+ chapters. Blue Box, Akane, but not, like I said, like those things are really good, and I think they deserve so much more than what they're getting in terms of praise and outlook and talked about. But something about them is just missing. Like even Blue Box anime was good, but it's just, is it just good? And I think are people looking for great, or are we as anime fans kind of like, are we grading things on kind of a too harsh of a scale? Like I don't know what the missing piece is, but I think there's just like, I think Sakamoto Days is just, I think it's more, it's underrated, and I think it deserves more praise than it has been getting.
I kind of see where you're coming from, and I agree. I think a part of that is like when the anime got announced, you know how the situation is supposed to be, where the anime pushes manga sales and it's supposed to like showcase all of these different things. But with Sakamoto Days, and I guess to a lesser extent Blue Box, they're licensed by Netflix, and so a Netflix anime can go two ways, either really good or really bad. And I think somewhere with Sakamoto Days anime, at least for the first season, it wasn't as good as it could have been. I think there was a lot of parts that they skipped. Like, granted, it was, really unnecessary for the story. So I guess they could have skipped some of that stuff. But I think the storytelling was really good in getting the point across about, Sakamoto living with his family in a world full of assassins that are trying to come after him, but he's giving up the life of killing and trying to push his methodology onto Shin and Lu and everybody else around him, and create this new world. Not necessarily a new world, but you know just give up the life of assassins, because it seems like the narrative is dying for assassins. And I think that overarching story for Sakamoto Days is really good to tell, when you see like where Sakamoto came from, where Shin came from, all of these different things. I think that story in itself was really good. And at the time when we're reading through it week by week, especially during, the COVID years, it was a great story to follow. We had a lot of action, a lot of great set pieces. Sakamoto was cool to follow, even though he wasn't the coolest looking character because he was overweight and everything like that. But when he transformed, it was like, oh no, he's about to get busy. I think that's another thing too. When you see like the cover art and like who Sakamoto is, you wouldn't suspect him like to be as cool as he is. And for a lot of anime fans who are pretty fickle, they're really like, this doesn't really look like it has cool character designs. A character design on the face of a book or on the cover of a book really can go a long way. And you see Sakamoto, and and you talk about it's about assassins, you might not catch somebody with that. I think like it's a very thin line to draw when it comes to like catching people on a first glance. But I think you're right in that it's underrated because of the story that it does tell, and like all the different characters that you can meet, and how their powers work, how quirky they are. There's somebody in each group, in each arc, that you can really fall in love with. I think even leading up to this final arc, like it told a very consistent story.
Okay. Listening to what LJ said about Sakamoto Days, and just listening to what AD said, I think if I were to compare, and not to say that they're the same, because I think LJ's point is we can't compare all types of anime series to each other because they're not in the same genre, right? And if we're looking at something like Blue Box and Akane, like those are like slice of life and comedy, right? So to me, those are like deep cuts. Like like there's difference between people that listen to music and they're music lovers. We're manga anime lovers, bro. So we're not just looking for like the big juicy like entree. Like this is what everyone's gonna gravitate to. We kind of like, all right, we're gonna watch that stuff, but we want to see something that's gonna make us feel something different. Like because of y'all, I got into Blue Box, where it's like I remember what it was like to like my first kind of crush when I was a teenager, and what does that anxiety feel like? And I feel like when I look at Sakamoto Days in comparison to Kaiju number 8, because they both have your main protagonist being like out of a typical age group for like your protagonist. Your protagonist is supposed to be like a either mid to young like teenager, or sometimes a later teen, early adult, right? Just to match the demographic. And I think people gravitate to Kaiju number 8 because it's just loud and flashy. So I'd call Sakamoto Days Ryu, and I'd call like Kaiju number 8 Ken. Like they both have the same moves, but like one is just it looks flashier. I think if you appreciate like the groundedness of Sakamoto Days, is like there's a lot of character development in both series, so I'm not taking that away from anybody. But I think because Kaji number 8 is so flashy with the fight scenes and stuff like that, people don't appreciate the grounded nature of Sakamoto Days. I'll do one more analogy. I say Sakamoto Days is like Jackie Chan, and I'd say Kaji number 8 is Jet Li. Like when it comes to just the ferocity of like those fight scenes, and when you look at Sakamoto Days, not that it's not serious, but sometimes you have some comic relief where people be having casual conversations, beating each other across cities and buses and trains, and it'd be comedy, but they'd be like, I'm trying to kill this person. So I think a lot of people can't appreciate that quality just because we have been consuming so much content that we appreciate the technique, even though it doesn't look as flashy. It's a little different in the execution.
I don't. Do you think it's flashy? Because I mean, the fight scenes in Sakamoto Days and action in Sakamoto Days is really next level.
I think it's really flashy. Like when you consider.
I'm saying, like, I'm talking about, like, do you think Kaiju number 8 is more flashy than Sakamoto Days?
Yeah,
I might have to disagree with that because you got to think about like how flashy Sakamoto Days will be, where they're in an amusement park and niggas is trying to kill each other with just like taking them all across like the roller coasters, or like they're on the highway and you got people sitting in the background, just like casually watching somebody fly across the screen or hit a bus, catapult off the bus, but nobody's actually dying for real. You know what I'm saying? Like with IG number 8, niggas really do be like dying for real. You know what I'm saying?
But I think
like
it's
explosion. Like I hear what you're saying with the kind of like, that's why I said Jackie Chan. If you remember what I'm saying, like even Jackie Chan with the realism of like he's climbing up things, he's jumping off of things. Like I can realistically, even though it's still outlandish, I can see someone fighting on a roller coaster and like those things happening. Not to say that obviously it's fictional, but when people look at Kaiju number 8, when you're going against these larger than life things, the color grading, like the explosions, like the special moves. Like again, I'm not saying Sakamoto Days isn't like, it doesn't have style and substance. It does, but I'm saying if you would look at those explosions and like how they do things, when I'm saying the ground is, I'm not saying Sakamoto Days like is boring, because I love Sakamoto Day fight scenes, right? But if you look at Kaiju number 8, everyone began their panties in a bunch, like, oh my god, he did this, oh he punched all these explosion and impact frames and all that type of stuff. And I was like, this dude just fought someone falling from like one car of a roller coaster to another one. He shot something across. Like there are things that if you don't watch it to appreciate it, I think if people watch both Sakamoto Days and Kaiju number 8, I think people are like, oh, I didn't even know Sakamoto Days goes as hard, because it'd be like everyone is easily digest all these crazy things from like the visuals, and I don't think they really sit to appreciate like Sakamoto Days. To me, I'm not saying it's boring. I hope I wasn't trying to like tell it to both of y'all. Like I don't think Sakamoto Days is boring, but I think everyone hypes up Kaiju number 8, the solo levelings, just because it's just out there with the explosions and this and the speed and the lights and the colors. That's how I see it. I could be wrong, but that's why I feel like they always rank those higher. When to me, Sakamoto Days is like, y'all are overlooking something that's greatness, because it's just I just choose not to watch it.
I mean, even like I said, even reading it, like watching how they're able to take this core group of Shin and Sakamoto, Hisuke. Shorty really takes a background.
Yeah,
she
she
takes
does.
she takes a hard background. But even how they're able to take them and give them their own storylines, give them kind of their own arcs of like figuring stuff out. Like, man, listen, that the prison arc
Hey man,
with Shin,
I'm not gonna lie. That was kind of tough to get through in the moment, but a binge read of that is way better.
bro. Rereading that is so good. It is really good. But even then, like, okay, even taking guys like Slur, and this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying like when you really read Sakamoto Days through how they're telling this story, they give you so many different viewpoints of each character. Like you kind of end up sympathizing with Slur.
Yeah.
Like you really kind of you get that backstory. You see how he's acting. Then you see the JAA. You see his issues with them, and then you kind of see like how they ended up playing him. You see how like Sakamoto had to make a kind of a decision, and how that decision like trickled down to how he is now. Like it tells this full circle viewpoint of kind of everybody's experience with the same thing, which I'll say is being an assassin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see how it affects each one differently. And now you kind of see like how Slur mentally had gotten broken by it. And then so now he creates this kind of multiple personality disorder where he's kind of picking up all these other things. You see the orders roll and all of this, and and they're kind of conflicting feelings towards everything that is happening. You see how like early on Shin got taken under Sakamoto's wing, and Sakamoto is just kind of like he's kind of like, you know what, like I understand why he is the way he is. Like Shin's like immediately sees that. So I like I said, once again, you do this for a reread and you get all this, you're like, wow, like this is actually a really good story. And also too, it's cool. Like it's the cool manga. Like the characters, everything like is just a legit cool manga. It's cooler than anything else that's going on and has happened. I think that every generation has that one like really cool anime manga, and I think this is this generation's like cool manga. Now, I'm not gonna say it's the best. It's a personal preference of how much I like it. And I still do believe that it should be rated higher than what it is. I feel more beloved than it really is. Um, and not to say that it's not, because anything running 200 plus chapters is beloved. People are reading it and people are digesting it. But I'm putting it up there in the realms of the MHAs and the JJKs. I'm putting it up there in that tier with them.
I can agree with that. I'm not upset at that. I can agree with that wholeheartedly, actually. Um, yeah, I think that when you have a story like Sakamoto Days, telling this overarching, it's not even like an overarching narrative, but it's just like a day by day type of thing where it's just a man who wants to protect his family. Like I'll say when you get all of these different characters in this story as they're introduced and you listen to some of their backstories, like even with Sakamoto and seeing how he came up as an assassin and how people like, what's his name, Boiled, looked up to him and wanted to be appreciated by him, how Sakamoto really kind of like changed the landscape of assassins and everything. And him just being like, you know what, I'm done with this. I just want a normal life. I want to take a normal life to live. Like we're in the era of John Wick, you know what I'm saying, where he wanted to live a normal life, but niggas just wouldn't stop fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? And when you have someone like that just in this world doing cool shit, but it's really just trying to relax, but you know, you can't never relax for real. I think that's one of the cool things about it. It's just a wholesome story about a man who just wants to spend time with his family, and you have all of these different people who are like being raised as assassins in orphanages, being experimented on like Shin, you know what I'm saying, and all of these just different characters who are going through this life who are being raised in can't remember the word, but you know, just like being brought up through the assassination association. I just think that it just does a a great thing with a lot of these different characters and how the setting influenced them all, especially in towards this final arc where they kind of brought it out into the forefront with everything was supposed to be really just about assassination and just like keeping regular people out of the mix. You can't really get civilians involved, but with this last arc, now civilians are getting involved. Slur done gave everybody a gun, told them like you get 3 bullets, you can shoot whoever you want to, it's perfectly legal, and they just let mayhem ensue across the city. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's one of the cool things about it, where it's like you let the setting influence it because all of these different characters were influenced by something that went along with the story. I just think that everything within the world of Sakamoto Days makes sense. There's nothing contrived about it. Everybody is pretty much cool. They have their own ways about doing stuff, their own motivations, and they're all really good. It is one of those ones where it didn't need to do anything contrived with the power system. There isn't really any power system. It's really just like niggas throwing hands.
It's not. It doesn't do anything too much. It really doesn't. Like, yeah, they got like,
their specialties
and little things, their specialties and things like that, but there's no power. Like you said, and I think you said it really well, it really is kind of a day-to-day.
Yeah.
Like, you see it like, damn, nigga, we just got shot at, we just got this, we got that, now we going back home, now they all looking at each other like, shit, what we about to do next?
I gotta open up the store tomorrow. We gotta clean up this glass.
Like, oh man, then he gotta go home and then he actually has to handle a business, or he's just like, hey, babe, we, listen, we on the under right now. Listen, we not bringing in too much money right now. So what we gonna do about the story? Like, it's really a day to day, and it's really a thing where it's kind of just like, wow, like it has that. And I think something I love so much about it is it does have that slice of life aspect to it. Mm-hmm. It does have that slice of life feeling to it. It does know when to stop and pause and let everything kind of breathe for a second. Then, okay, let's ramp up back to action. Let's get these guys back into some shit. Like the way that they're able to build connections with each other, and we can do a callback to another character. Oh, this is where this character ended up. I didn't know where he ended up. Nice to see him come back. Oh, now this is what he's doing. Da 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 da. It really is like, it's from a storytelling standpoint, it does a really great job. And I think it does much better than what it is given credit for.
Honestly, I just feel like I had to check how many chapters Sakamoto Days had and how much Kaiju number 8 has. Like, Sakamoto Days has almost twice as much as Kaiju number 8. I feel like Kaiju number 8's story is kind of like limited. I don't know if it was Eldred or someone else says like, or Mills. He's like, I wasn't really connected to the characters. And you know me, I'm a little sad. I be connected to every character or every story that I be reading. But for me, when I'm seeing like a lot of the character arcs within Sakamoto Days, like especially the most recent chapters, like I'll be looking at some of these who's like, yo, y'all were annoying little pipsqueaks that were just buzzing around Sakamoto, right? And when you're seeing like people having conviction when like they're literally mentally peeing their pants, right? And having to like put their big boy, big girl pants on in certain scenes. I just think when it translates to anime, it's just going to be a beautiful story. Again, as someone that's much later to the One Piece story, which is one of the longest, like, ongoing stories, I think Sakamoto Days, and I'm not trying to compare it to One Piece, but I feel like the longevity of how they introduce new characters, how you get connected to them, how to actually genuinely care, and even the villains, right? I think a good series makes me start to question, I don't know, man. These dudes kind of spitting. And whenever I have that thing, it really tests your morality, your thought process, your ethics on, I don't know, man. It's not just good and evil. It's just perspective. It's just how you came into this world, and does it make sense now that you've been in long enough? Like, yo, why do we not question it? Why do we just keep doing it the same way? It's kind of like Deku and Shiggy. Like, sometimes Shiggy was like, yo, you kind of crazy. And other times it'd be like, I can't, you know what? Sometimes you're not wrong. I don't like it, but you're not wrong.
So how would you consider like Slur as a villain compared to like Shiggy or All for One? Like, where does he rank for you in terms of like villain? Is he like better than like Kaiju number 9?
I definitely think he's better than Kaiju number 9. I think of Kaiju number 9 is like a fake Mega Man character that's like, I'm just trying to absorb all the other Kaijus, and my whole thing is I need to be the supreme Kaiju. And I think his motivation, and like even when we get to the ending, because we got to the ending of the manga. When we get to the ending of anime, I don't even think I want a sequel, bro. Like what else is there to do? Like the Kajus are not done. Like, all right, this is this big bad. It doesn't mean killing him means we killed all the Kajus. Like there's more that's gonna just keep coming. Like I feel like when you look at Slur, it kind of low key gives me the father antagonist in a Full Metal Alchemist. Like I get why they're the way that they are. Like, and it's like, damn, I still got to put you down, but I understand your thought process. And I think when I can understand antagonists, and I'm not rooting for them, but I kind of want to see them test the protagonist as much as possible before they get stopped. I think comparing Slur with it's awful one, right? It's hard because he's a sociopath, right? And I think for him, he just cares about winning over everyone. Like I feel like they get along, but they try to kill each other at the end. So I think there's more depth to those characters than Kaji number 9, where I'm just like, I hear you, bro, but all you care about is just, it's. I feel like he's a big villain that is really like should have been a mid-tier villain. Like your conviction is not that strong for me. It's like it doesn't compel me to like care about your art. Like when they beat him, it's just like, all right, cool.
He was a good enough villain for he was more of a catalyst for the actual protagonist. Like it's not like he was this big bad. He was just bad enough for the other characters and the other heroes to have to get over a hump.
Can I be honest with y'all? Like I know this is not about Kaji number 8, and I don't want to just because it's about Sakamoto Days. I low key was thinking we were gonna get another bad after that. That's why I was like, when we were doing this, I was like, I thought it was like a precursor to another bad. Like it was like Dragon Ball Z where we had like Raditz, and then we had Vegeta, and then we had like Frieza, and then we had like Cell. Like, all right, Kaji number 9, cool, but like, where's Kaji number 11? Like, let's like have more cerebral characters, right? Because like after you beat him, it's like, all right, that's it. Like, cool, but it's like I think when you look at like Slur, it's like I understand like why someone's like I don't want to be like JAA, right? I don't want to be like these guys because they're so safe being this system that they are against change. And like Slur is like, nah, I think we should break this down and start it up anew. And they may be radical in how they do it, but there's a fundamental reason why they feel the way that they do. Like this is not working. Even when you look at Shiggy and his like thought process against All For One was like, heroes, like the concept of heroes, like why do you guys think you're right? Like, yeah, you're supposed to help people, but you do fail, you do mess up, you do not always save the day. There are people that don't get to feel your love, that don't get to feel your protection. I'm gonna turn society on its head. I think it needs to be changed. And I think when you listen to like villains like that, like the Slur and the Shiggys and the All For Ones for their own convictions, you don't like them, but it's like I respect that you stand for something and not just I just want to fuck shit up. You know what I'm saying? Because there's only a certain limit of I want to fuck shit up that is just like, all right, but nothing else. That's it. That's all you want. No world domination, no evolution of like it's
but it kind of does. He kind of is like that. He's somewhere in between like All For One and Kenjaku. Like to the point where like he said that I want to let the people decide. I want to let people like the normal common citizen have a chance to like decide their futures. We can decide it by strength or whatever like that, but it's not really about that. It's about like what's gonna happen next. Even though this entire whole plot was just like him trying to destroy the society that ruined them in the beginning, like the JAA society, the whole secret society. Once he made the announcement within the last few chapters that, hey, there's a secret society of assassins that live all around you guys, but I'm gonna give you guys a chance to like bring this to the forefront because the assassin world is dying off. People can't really be assassins anymore because cancel culture is such a big thing. Ruining someone's credibility is such a thing that there's no need to actually put a hit out on somebody anymore. So he's trying to like change the status quo essentially. So I mean, like it's a little bit in there where he's trying to flip everything on his head to give like normal people their power. If they don't like somebody, just off them, like get rid of them. We really don't need that person in his life, and it's gonna be legal for you to do that. You get a chance to ruin somebody's life.
No, I agree. I was just letting you know that I agree with that. I'm just saying, like when I'm looking at Kaji number 9's conviction, it's just like Slur made sense. It's like, look, when does the regular person have a chance to like let that inner like you wanted to do this your whole life and you were told not to? Why did they tell you not to? Like it's sometimes you want to question the status quo. So everything you said I agree with, but I was like looking when you telling me to compare like Slur to like All for One or the Fathers or any of those other like top tier villains, I'm more in line to bump them up as a villain. Whereas like I want to see how far they go before obviously the protagonist hopefully win in the end, right?
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, I was just kind of bored with Kaji number 9, where it's like at some point Kaji number 8 is gonna like unlock some X Deus Machina type thing, and he's gonna overpower you, right? And then at that point, who's next? And if there's no new who's next, it's like there's nothing else in the story to continue with. Whereas Sakamoto Days, I don't want to be like cheesy with the whole Death Note of like, oh, we had L, then we had M, we had N. There's always somebody. There's always could be someone in the ashes of Slur that can be some other entity to come up and be like, well, we were inspired by them. Let's do a remix to that. Like it could that mindset could always transition to someone else to like radicalize and improve it. Is what, and I agree with you. Like you need that to continue to be compelled with the series, which is why LJ is so passionate about Sakamoto Days. It's like it's a very good story. Like I haven't reread it yet. But I'm looking forward to that reread because there's always two styles of reading a manga. When you do week by week, you only get so much feeling to it. But when you read it in bursts of like 20, 30, 40, 50 chapters and read it like a book, like it's just a different feeling.
I think in general that's how it should be read. I always say we just didn't have to wait so long for volumes.
Yeah.
But I think that even just going back to this villain talk, I mean, even when you're looking at the quote unquote villain in Sakamoto Days, everyone has a role to play. Like there's really is no like quote unquote good guys. I know there's guys that's trying to stop it. Like Sakamoto's the good guy. I think that he's not even a good guy in terms of he's done so much wrong. I think he just kind of came to this enlightened point of like, oh shit, like this killing shit is whack. Like I don't want to do this anymore before everybody else. But I even think once again, we gotta look at the JAA and the shit that they were doing. Like they were doing some slimy, grimy shit on the back end. So it's just kind of just like, okay, well, are they the true villains in all this? I think Slur has kind of been, it's like you're just once again you're seeing so many different viewpoints of an issue in the lifestyle of an assassin, and you kind of see how it has damaged or skewed a lot of their views. I think that's when you have some that have gone so radical and so on one end of like everybody who was a part of this assassination world has to pay because they've done all X, Y, and Z, and you go at the other end where people are just like, no, I just want to live peacefully now. I don't want to do this anymore. Like I've done enough dirt. I want to put the guns down, put everything down. I just want to walk away. And they're not allowed to walk away though, so they're constantly getting drawn into this life. And the people who are as radical they want to be radical because they want to stop the killing, but to be able to do that, they got to kill more. It's kind of like they're all caught up in this weird circle and cycle, and you kind of start seeing that. You're like, oh shit, like you're seeing how they're responding to the same, they're responding a lot to the same thing, but all their responses are much different. But how it also just kind of keeps them in this weird hamster wheel, and how they're all just trying to get off of it.
I was gonna ask, what would y'all say is your favorite arc in the story that like did so much, that like just had so much cool shit into it? Because we had the amusement park, we had them go to the museum.
Oh, the museum! I'm tripping. Museum.
I was gonna say the exam arc for me was kind of crazy. Like them going in on the plane, and then Sakamoto stamping that nigga face with the passport. They got the school arc, the past arc with Sakamoto, the jail arc. It's a bunch of good arcs in here.
I know, like the museum arc was great. Trying to think what else. The JAA when they broke into that, and you get the first look at the old man who has the best outfit in the entire thing. Let's just say this: perfectly cut suit with a sword. Listen, that collar hug is amazing. It doesn't move while he's moving. Just a beautifully, just good fits all around, really. But yeah,
I'm gonna say the JCC infiltration arc. I think I always love heist stuff. So like whenever you're trying to like infiltrate and get some like key information, it's like the thought process is, all right, we're trying to do this with the least amount of noise as possible. We got to get this information and try to get in, get out with the least amount of detection as possible. And 9 times out of 10, especially when it comes to manga anime, it's not always the cleanest like transaction of like happening. So I just think how much you learn in it, like some of the characters and like the orders, like I think the former order founder's like son, who's a prodigy. There's certain things that made me go, okay. I was already kind of like bought into this because I think out of all of us, I think 80 started reading this first. I think.
I mean, I probably did, and I
Yeah.
dropped it at a certain point, but like I came back to
What
it.
Sakamoto Days? We did this on a shit. We did that on an early episode of
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we
Big
started.
Eyes. Yeah, we were covering it. I'll say this: when we started covering it, me and AD were already co-hosting.
Yeah, and that was a good
Yeah.
ways into it. Like we had started, and we were like, it's. I think that was around the time where we were trying to figure out what's good and what wasn't, because there was a lot of stuff that was getting canned, because there was a lot of stuff that was cheeks in there, bro. Like Shonen Jump really had some mid going on, but this one stuck out
Yeah,
more than
they
anything.
did. Boy, nah, they definitely had some mid going on during that time. Some mid, I was some of that shit. I go back and think like, damn, I can't believe I was fighting for that.
Bro,
Zip Man, I think they
oh,
had the
it was another one, Bone Collector, I think.
shit. Sakamoto. No, I think Sakamoto Days was already rolling by the time the little Red Riding Hood one.
Yeah, that one. I mean, that one was all right, and he got another one I think that's about to get canceled though. So it's like, you 0 for 2 right now, buddy. You might be striking out soon.
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, shoot, Sakamoto definitely was survived the days where they were cutting shit early.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it survived some seasons. It survived some seasons and is still standing. And like, I just believe that Sakamoto Days deserve so much more praise than what it gets. And I'm not saying it as if it doesn't get praise or it's just not talked about, but I just think that it belongs in a tier with some of the best manga that's ran in Shonen Jump, at least I'll say since its inception.
Nah, I agree with you, bro. But I think like when we having like movies that come out and people don't be really like experiencing when it dropped in the theaters, and when people get to come around to it later, they be like, "Damn, why didn't I pick up on this?" Because they weren't listening, and I just don't think they're gonna see this magic until like because Sakamoto Days is this is his final arc for sure, right?
They said it is.
So I don't know how long that's gonna last. I don't know if we're gonna have like another like year or two or something like that. Um, but I feel like when it's animated and people be like, "Damn, I really didn't get the vision. I really wasn't seeing it." And I think sometimes people kind of need to just be shown it. But I appreciate the journey that is Sakamoto Days because I think now that I'm realizing a lot of these series, having a series, especially get as far as Sakamoto Days in like the 220s, 30s or something like that, we're not going to have long term mangas anymore. I think LJ and AD, I think you guys were talking about this a lot in Big Eyes when we were dealing with a lot of those cuts of those new series. Like getting to 300, 400 is not guaranteed. Like it's not the easiest thing to like come through now. So it's like now you got to make do with like these stories that have to be completed and make sure that it's like worthwhile. And I think Sakamoto Days, when it's all said and done, and hopefully they land that ending, it's gonna be a beautiful journey. I think for us to come on and talk about it and feel like strong about our characters, even when I be talking mess about Shin, I just be thinking, not that I'm disappointed, but I always want him to have these moments where it's like you're supposed to be this dude's like right hand, like his second best, right? He's supposed to be like, I don't want to call him Zorro, but he's supposed to be kind of like, that guy that's supposed to be like clutch. And you're not seeing those moments, but hopefully when those moments happen, it's like, damn, this is what I was waiting for. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, shoot. I mean, now I think some of the bigger ones are hitting 200. I mean, Akane Banashi is at 170. I know that Blue Box just hit 200 not too long ago. And I do agree. I don't think we're seeing anything clip the 300 mark.
Witch Watch.
Witch Watch hit 213. Kagura Bachi's at 90. I was like, damn, that's kind of crazy. Doesn't feel like it's been 90 chapters long.
Yeah, Elusive
Samurai's at 214. Huh?
I said Elusive Samurai went under the radar. Like even that had an anime.
Super. No one cared about it. No one cared about it. I don't care about Elusive Samurai.
I mean, it's a better anime than manga. And I feel like when I started watching the anime, like I don't know. I know sometimes LJ was pissed off with my grades, but I thought it was funny as a manga. But watching it, like I be watching, be like, I get it. Like it's the tone that's in the manga and the tone that is in the anime is like there's certain things you got to see in color. You got to see with the outlandish expressions. And I think for what it is with the gag characters and all that type of stuff, it's serious stuff when it comes to like like trying to take over territory and stuff like that. Like it's just one of those ones where I look at it as like, when that new season comes, I'm gonna watch it because it's entertaining. It's zany. Like the characters are just weird in a way that's like it compels you that you kind of want to keep watching it. So it's interesting.
Yeah, but I enjoyed this discussion. Once again, if you have not read Sakamoto Days, you really, really should. I know a lot of this was more conversation about where we placing it than more of the actual story, but it's a really great manga if you love spies, if you love good fits, if you love good action, good storytelling, all the above. You like a guy who can go from fat to skinny and get on the Ozempic immediately. It's your it's your vibe, it's your kind of thing. Definitely tap into it. Skip, thank you so much, man, for joining us. I love having you on. It's always a great discussion when you're here. So thank you for pulling up on us.
Wait, hold on, because AD said I can get off a couple of bad takes. So
all right.
Yeah,
Here you guys go. All right, listen, man.
Too late. It's too late, bro. I think, right? I don't know if I'm saying this right because I'm trying to read this right now. Kagurabachi. I think that's gonna be one of them ones, and I think especially when it was like under like 20 chapters and everyone was just like trolling the hell out of it. Like I know a lot of people in the Lookout Discord, they were like about it, and I just feel like, all right, this guy, he's got to just keep growing. But I can see something in this where it's like, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be like a top 2, top 3 like series, but I think for what his lane is, I think it's gonna be, especially when it's animated and we get to see more of it, I think it's gonna really go. And I think for me, it's just something that I don't know what about this kid that he's monotone, but he just kind of figures things out. Not like a 6-star, but I think it's going to be a strong 4-star series. Just to be a little controversial, but I think it has the potential to. I think it can hit 300 chapters. I think so, depending on what they talk about with this. I mean, the way that they're writing it, it looks like it might barely hit 150 just with the storyline. But if it wanted to, I think there's a lot of lore that they can go back to when it comes to the main character's father, his like little flashback and like a little more of that. So I think it can have the potential to like when certain things are ending, it could carry on for like a couple, 3-4 years. Wait, how many chapters per year? Like 40, 50, right? With the skips, because it's like 52 weeks in a year.
Yeah,
I think it could hold on and be like a leader for like 2-3 years before it finishes.
It's funny because that is the next one that we are going to talk about. So I mean,
LJ didn't say that was a bad take. I'm surprised.
I don't think it's a bad take. To be honest, I was expecting something crazier. I felt that was a safe take, especially for you. I felt that take was super safe.
I don't know, man. That's felt a little.
I don't think Gorobachi is. I think it's going to be pretty successful. I think especially when the anime gets cleared, which seems going to be very soon. I mean, Kill Blue is getting one. Kill Blue is also another really good one on the red. Now that's a good manga. That's not a manga I'm putting in a stratosphere in the greats, but that's a good manga.
I need to read this because I'm missing out on the sauce.
I think once again, another guy in the Discord that has some crazy takes. Like especially when y'all two get going, I'll be like, I need to log out because y'all about to piss me off. You and Sid, when y'all two get to going and get to flowing, I'll be looking like, hey, I'm about to mute both of you niggas. But Sid had a great comparison. It is very case closed realm. But it is really good. I can't lie. Like it's good. It's a good manga. I think the anime is also going to be good. But no, I don't think saying Kagurabachi is going to be a 4-star anime, 4-star manga. I don't think that's out of the realm. It came into the game with like LeBron level hype. So it's it really, the only thing it was going to defeat it was itself.
I mean, we say that, bro, but like we keep thinking like we were around when LeBron got drafted. The kind of career that LeBron had, it's not to say it's expected, but imagine everyone putting these expectations of you and you actually hit them. Like I think that's the reason why it may seem safe to you, but like I think I was one of those few people, and AD, he has such an encyclopedia for me. I was like something about this 5-10 chapters, and I was like, I really like this, and they barely said anything, but I was like, I really feel like they put it on a pedestal. They have the memes. They made these jokes about it being so high up. I think it can hit his expectations. And a lot of times we've seen a lot of these series rise and fall. Like Embers hurts my heart, bro. Embers hurts my heart, bro. Because like,
oh man, listen, I don't want to talk about the lack of good sports manga there is right now.
Nasty, but
they're trying. They're trying again. They got a baseball one in there, and like a little ping pong.
I haven't read it yet. I saw it was the first 9 chapters, but I haven't read it yet.
Look, again, I know you hate my star system. I'm not gonna say stars, but like the twists that they have in those first couple of chapters, I think it'll grab you in. Where it's like I expected it to go one way as a sports kind of like manga, and then they went another way, and I was like, oh, this is very rare for you to do the main characters and do it this way with them. So I think whenever you guys get a chance, I think you would really like it, and I feel like when it gets animated, it's going to be an experience.
I hope it can get that far.
Hopefully.
Well, Skip, I've given you the stage. I'm gonna cut your mic now before you get too much on the flow.
That's okay. I'm done.
Because I know the next couple things that if I kept letting you talk, I was like, all right, he's gonna take it there. Nah. I know you. I know how far you can go.
I'm trying to be better this year. I came back from Japan.
No, I don't want you to change though. Also, how was the Japan trip? I mean, obviously you said it was great, but
quick seconds because I know we're like ending. Like, if you've never been to Japan, and I feel like I went, when I was turning 35, and all of my close friends couldn't make it just because of personal reasons and life stuff. Like, so I got to really experience the city by myself. As anybody that reads and watches, anime, you've imagined these cities, the trains and all the things. It literally is everything you imagine in real life. And I think it was one of those things where I'm not trying to be a different person, but like that place made me mad calm. Like that's probably the reason why I don't like doing the star system no more. I was like, I'm a little crazy when I do that. Like I was just mad relaxed. I was grounded because like I achieved something that I've always wanted to achieve when I was 8 years old. And I get to see why these characters in Blue Box, where they went on that trip to the same temple I went to before that those chapters dropped. So when you get to see, oh, if you miss a bullet train, this is a real thing, bro. Like you got to wait an hour or two for another one of them Johns. So it's like now a lot of things make sense to you that when you weren't in Japan for like Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, that when you kind of look at these grounded things of you go to Shibuya train station and then you see the train platform where redacted, right? And you're seeing all these characters, and it's like, damn, I'm in these train stations, I'm in these streets. It's a different feeling. So for anybody that wants to go to Japan, I want to go back in 2 years. Like start saving up, use your points if you have like credit card points. Try to use your points to either buy the flight or buy the hotel. But strongly recommend anybody that loves anime to make their way to Japan to see a lot of those cities, because then a lot of things start to make sense to you when it comes to, oh, this is why these authors and these illustrators make these things the way they is, to make you really feel like you're there, because you are, because they're giving you a piece of their home right there.
Awesome. Yeah, Japan's definitely on the list for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, we got to drug Mills to get him on a plane, but listen, if I got to bring out the tranquilizer gun just for him to wake up in Japan, we're gonna have to do what we gotta do.
It's worth it.
But
We'll figure it out.
we'll figure it out. We'll just jump them. How about that?
I agree. I know. I be running to Mills on the random twice a month. He's saying it to be like,
oh yeah, and then I mean, sure, y'all be together, Anime NYC, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop by. Yeah,
for sure. Well, once again, Skip, you're the man. Appreciate you. As always, if you're listening to this, you know where to find us. The Lookout RNC on X, on formerly known as Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. Listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. Always appreciate the support. Don't meet us there, beat us there. Peace.